If big mass is just an accumulation of small masses, then why the laws that govern small masses change as it accumulates into bigger mass? At what point in its accumulation did the laws governing mass has change? In Walter Russell's cosmogony, there is just one law that governs all masses, whether big or small. This law is what governs all motion in the entire universe. That law is balance. No observable motion in all of creation which are not governed by the law of balance. All motion is out of balance, seeking rest and balance. In this video, we will oversimplify the concept of a wave as the secret of creation. There are no fundamental particle at the deepest level of creation. For the universe of creation has no substantial reality. Wave simulates existence, its dual effect of motion, of contraction, and its simultaneous expansion simulate matter and space respectively. This is the basis of creation from smallest scale. Spherical bodies are formed through multiplied compression and expansion. For if one direction of motion are heading towards contraction, while the opposite effect of motion are heading towards expansion, it will create an unequal volume which eventually the expanded volume will surround its contracted opposite. This will create a sphere. Now to oversimplify this concept, let's visualize this single mass as wave periodically contracting and expanding. But before we proceed, let me introduce you to an idea of preponderance. As motion contract, it also expand in lesser extent, until the force of expansion overcome the force of contraction. Motion then reverses. Same applied to its opposite pair that is heading towards expansion. As it expand, it also contract in lesser extent until the force of contraction overcomes the force of expansion. Motion then reverses. This is the reason why opposites interchange. Contraction expands while expansion contracts. Trough becomes crest and crest becomes trough. Every effect of motion is cumulative and repetitive within its accumulation. So as smaller mass accumulate into bigger mass, smaller mass within its accumulation still repeat this contraction-expansion cycle. So here's how it goes. Notice these alternating wave patterns of low pressure and high pressure, as this is what we shall observe from smallest scale up to the biggest scale. Take a look at this electron as an example. Observe carefully the alternating light and dark region radiating away from the center. It seems to stay still, but it is actually generating and radiating 1 trillion times per second. We can also observe that this effect is repeated in bigger bodies such as in our solar system. Our Sun occupies a region of a bigger wave cycle which has a highest density, such as in wave crest, and lessens its density as it goes farther and farther away, which were manifested by gaseous planet like Jupiter. Remember that less density doesn't mean low potential or low energy, for it has compressive potential opposite to high density, which has explosive potential. Each is exactly the opposites of each. Listen carefully, for this last part held the secret to perpetual motion. Observe carefully. A wave is composed of this gradient of pressure. All smaller periodic wave cycle within it will find its place depending upon which period they are in their cycle. To make it simple, observe this pressure gradient in a much bigger wave cycle, such as our planet Earth. Our planet Earth is a wave, and it is composed of a much shorter wave cycles. Take this contracting expanding sphere I have shown earlier as smaller wave cycle. Introduce it to a bigger wave field such as our planet, and we will understand what govern its motion. As matter preponderantly contracting in its periodic wave cycle, it attracts other matter that are also in their contracting periodic wave cycle. They seek and pull towards each other, resulting in increasing density. With the same mass now occupying small volume, their density increases. As their density increases, they find themselves out of balance in their current environment. They then likewise move to find that region in that bigger wave field where they find that same density. They can find that at wave crest located towards the center of the Earth, which is a point of maximum density. It is a point of equal interchange between the force of contraction and the force of expansion. Once they reach that point, their direction reverses. They expand and push each other away due to expansive preponderance. As they push each other, their volume increase. As their volume increase, they find themselves out of balance in its current environment. They then move to find that environment to where their expanded condition belongs. The cycle repeat eternally as long as the balance is divided into two. Matter forever move to find that divided balance. They find it and will lose it again. This is why they must walk the treadmill of perpetual motion. Support this channel by liking, sharing, or subscribing. Let's spread the real science of creation as it was already been taught by the divine light itself through cosmic man Walter Russell. Thank you and stay tuned for more.